Hey,
Mike with Accounting for Cycling. So, I've got all this stuff here. The video just went live with the basically the unboxing of what was in that box. Now it's just a bunch of cleaning garbage. Well, recyclables, technically. Yeah, so I've got Ruby put all back together, minus one fairly important drivetrain bit. No chain. So, I'm going to fix that. You can see here, I've got a chain. It is spread across the ground here. There we go. Cool. I feel like my table over here would be perfect for this, but currently it is being used as, well, a table, holding all sorts of cleaning products that I have and had been using for maintenance and cleaning. Also, I've got maint muss up here, front and rear brakes, calipers, pads, rotors. Hopefully not the rotors. Rotors seem fine, maybe a little bit bent. That's something, you can just bend it back. Calipers and pads also seem fine, but they might just need to be essentially just recentered. That's something where you just loosen the two bolts underneath the flat mounts, squeeze your brakes, tighten them. Should be recentered. If not, figure it out as we go, I guess. So, we're not going to need this stuff either. There's the super secret drip wax. Little, whoa. And then the chain stripper, which we're not going to need because, well, I'm not prepping this chain down here for wax. It's actually going to be used for a kind of a trick, but I feel like it's not really a trick because it's something that a lot of people already know about. Which is if you still have your old chain and it is good enough, working order, yeah, you just line up the new one next to the old one and make sure that they're the same length. If your old one, for whatever reason, was skipping around or it was too tight, couldn't shift, no matter how perfect you thought you were able to index your gears, then you need to resize your chain. Simple as that. Or if you like dramatically oversized your rear gearing, or it went from, say, a dual front chain ring setup to a single, or vice versa, you might need to redo it. Yeah, it's a whole thing of basically like you stretch it across without rolling through the rear pulley wheels, restretch, pull forward. GCN, they've got a great video on it. I've done it only a handful of times. It's a huge pain. I don't like to do it, so I prefer to do it this method. Basically, don't break your chain. Try not to break your chain. That way you don't have to do it the more manual method. Yeah, that's it. Uh-oh, making noise. Making noise, making a mess. I'm going to try and set up a little workspace desk here, using this Elite Sturzo that is still boxed up from unsure when. Long time ago, though. So, yeah. It's not new, that's for sure. All right. Yeah, there we go. So this would work pretty well if I had an open base plate here, so I could actually use this overhead mount. But I don't. And I don't really want to take it off of anything. So we also might have to come closer to over here. Nope, that doesn't fix our problem either, because this tripod would have the exact same issue. Oh, yeah. We got to start putting this stuff away, like actually putting it away. I am going to use this tripod. It's actually more of a light tripod, but, you know, works, it works. It does. I also truthfully don't know why I'm doing this, like, intro, outro thingy. Like, I also easily could have just hit pause or stop the recording, but I feel like this is more genuine of the experience of, oh, wow, we just up and decided we're gonna record this. Now you know. Alright, so I do need to shift my little makeshift dealie. Whoa! Yeah, because I really don't want to take that off of there because it's like perfectly centered. But I also don't want to break it. Alright, so the goal of this is going to be not to spill super hot wax all over my floor and myself. I think that is an achievable goal, a realistic goal. We're not making smart goals, that's for sure. All right, so I got to put one of these back into, oh, there we go. There we go. This is a face. There we go. So I have to put one of these back into my saddle pack because, I mean, I used all of my TPU tubes out in Michigan. Oops. No, I said I have to be the furthest one away. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. And we're already 9 minutes in. See, I could have just done this where it was a live stream, and that almost probably would have been a smarter idea. But, I mean, also, whatever. This hopefully will be back in a wheel soon. That was my beard. All right. Water. I also had to find like the only remaining metal coat hanger that we have. So hopefully not actually important. I feel like plastic coat hangers or clothes hangers work just fine, but you know, sometimes people get a little picky over those. All right, I gotta get up anyways. There we go. Perfect. So with the magic of editing, this whole like makeshift, get everything ready, this might be dead. It might be. We'll get out our handy dandy Gerber. Remember, don't play with knives. They are tools to be utilized in a safe and effective manner. Unless, of course, you're using it for self-defense, that's dead. All right, we wing it. But yeah, unless you're using it for self-defense, then, you know, safe and effective for you, not for them. So when you pull a new chain out, and like, I know you, the viewer, can't feel this. And this one's actually not that bad. But there is packing grease, or packing oil is a better description in it, that helps protect the chain while it's stored before sale. So you don't just want to break the chain out, throw it on your bike, call it good. Because this lubricant is more protective than a lubricant. So it won't be very good as far as a low drag or any kind of efficiency, but you do want to remove it before you put any actual lubricant on it. So you can kind of see it on this. I'm trying to get a good reflection off of it, or like in the top here. Like, yeah. Ew. Reusable. Missing link. Things of beauty. So the missing link, you're not supposed to put wax on. Something about during your use of the drivetrain, it's going to spread enough around where it'll get coverage. So not really an issue, but I do still want to clean it a little bit, just enough to get that kind of, you know, the packing grease off. Again, not grease, packing oil, packing grease. I don't know, that old term. Something still that like larger equipment comes in, because you don't want it to corrode when it's in shipment or when it's in transit, especially over the oceans. You don't want mice, rats, bugs, all sorts of good stuff to get in it. Not as much of an issue with a 10-speed chain that is going onto a bicycle, but corrosion certainly is. Especially if this thing is going to go to a bike shop, might sit on a shelf for a couple of years, a couple of months, a couple of weeks. You might purchase one, it might sit on a shelf for a while. I don't know, I think I still have one in my closet that's like 2 or 3 years old. It's an emergency chain, just in case. There we go. And now it won't reseal either, so you can't resell it. It's not why it does that, but it's a little bit comforting to know. So, a couple of different ways you can do this. If your table's big enough, you can just line it up. My table is not, so I'll be doing this a couple of chunks of links at a time. So you just want to be very careful in following the links down and making sure that they line up. Now, in certain applications, I don't know, it might not be too big of a deal if you're 1-2 links off, but it is still bad. You want to be precise. I could use my desk over there, but it is both dirty, filled with work. Nobody wants to see that. And also, just, it's over there. All right, so got that. And well, I've got this locked in here. Still very, very important to do the measure twice, cut once. So just to kind of go right back through it. And there we are. Cool. And so as you can see from the old one, or from the old chain, you want to have one of the actual rollers that you'll be using your chain tool on. So you position it inside, line up the pin extractor, and start carefully applying pressure. There we go. With these being hollow pins, they may not slide down through the other side of the chain tool. And this one might be a little, still needs a little extra motivation. There we go. Cool. And there is a roller pin, the literal linchpin of your chain. All right, and there we have it. So now we've got this built up, but we still need to build our, I don't know what it's actually called, dangly hanger thingy, we'll call it. And that's why we need the metal coat hanger. So we'll use that to angle pliers around here. There it is. So if you buy one of the kind of fancier, more expensive waxing kits, it may actually come with the thingy for this. This is just meant to hang your chain so that you can literally just dip it into the wax. Ew. So it'll be this piece here, and SILCA's website said you're supposed to do like every 8 links, and then you just like dip the chain into the wax. So I think what we need to do next is consult with possibly their website. Always use the recommended melting. Got it. Helpful. Oh, the StripChip actually has the directions right on the back. Strip factory grease chain in your ultimate chain waxing system. This is not the ultimate chain waxing system from SILCA. That's their like red one that also has a little bucket dealy. Yeah. Don't know if theirs came with gloves though. I will have these ready, but then it's got a hanger to like, actually they provide you with their dangly thingy, which I will likely forget to actually put the correct name in this video of what it actually is, but we'll just keep calling it the dangly thingy. So the dangly thingy here, and actually this kind of works out perfect now. So, hey. Bajillion% overkill to use a overhead camera mount. But hey, if it works, it works. We are, however, going to kind of set up our little station here a little bit more because I have sneaking suspicion there will be some dripped wax that will drip outside of our container. So let's keep that there. Okay, it's official. We have opened our secret chain blend. So cool. So this is a 500 gram bag. This says put 400 grams in it. Here, hey, something that's actually possibly helpful. All right, cool. We are zeroed. Let's see if we can even get remotely close to as much as we'll need. It's not looking like it. Oh. I mean, it'll probably melt together. These are also like, they look like little tiny chocolate chips, but definitely not chocolate chips you want to eat. All right, so that's 273 grams, and we need the chain to fit in there too. Okay, it says 300 grams in here. Okay, you know what? I think we're pretty close. Let's open up our not candy bar here, our StripChip. It's the secret sauce. So it really does though. It looks kind of like a candy bar, but with some little SILCA seals on it and some other things. You know, we are going to do though, we are going to break this in the baggie so as not to make a mess. 286. We'll call that good for now. Okay, so the ultimate chain waxing system apparently starts at 75°C, and this is in Fahrenheit. All right, let's do some quick conversion here. 125°C to 57 degrees. Nice. Maxed it out. Cool. So, while that's going, we're gonna take our dangly thingy here, and even before we put a bunch of wax on it, zero this out. Change that 237 grams. So we can get this here. So, cool. All right, so this might be my least favorite part so far. So fishing the chain through this thingy. Oh, no, that one's way too short. There we go. Scoot over. There we go. Nice. Look at that. It's super exhilarating, I know. I feel like we could do without the little plastic arms. But yeah, so we're going to let that keep melting here, and I will be back shortly. So here's the Sayuvb, whatever it is, 257 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the highest it goes, or 125 degrees Celsius. We are cooking the SILCA Secret Chain Blend, which actually doesn't say SILCA on the front at all. We're also using the SILCA StripChip, and here it is. That is the StripChip on top. It is not melted yet. The wax, though, it's going to town. It's probably about 300 grams worth of wax inside the melter. Before it started melting, it was very, very, very much all the way up to the brim. And here's the chain that we'll be coating. This is definitely not the SILCA official waxing system, but hey, it so far is working. At least insofar as I am literally melting wax. But the use for this wax melter, it's pretty easy. Like, just turn it on with this dial and set the temperature. And the digital gauge here tells you what temperature it's supposed to be. So, yeah, so far so good. We'll find out in a little bit here after it's done melting wax. So, I don't know about the rules of like flipping this thing around, but there's a pretty good chunk of wax here. And I want it melted. So I was definitely envisioning this being a slightly quicker process. I don't know why, but maybe it's because the little wax pellet thingies were so small. Yeah, like, I don't know if you're supposed to stir it, but I am just a little bit. Looks like we still have a good chunk of our strip chip here. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. For now. It's definitely breaking up. But yeah, probably not advised. Just, you know, shaking hot wax around. But here we are. So it's still sitting at 257 degrees Fahrenheit, 125 degrees Celsius. We still have not dropped our chain in. I'm trying to actually follow the instructions as much as possible and allow the wax in the strip chip to fully melt. Yeah. Gently lower the chain using the cable coupler. I think that's the dangly thing. It's the cable coupler. This is much less elegant. It retains the name of dangly thingy, but since it is on a swinging arm here that is meant for top-down camera work, it's a much more fancy, elegant, dangly thingy holder. But yes, so I think this is supposed to be the cable coupler coat hanger. Lightly agitate the chain again for 30 seconds. Do not spill or splatter any wax though. Then lower the temperature on the machine back to 75 degrees Celsius. Once temperature reaches 75 C, about 10 more minutes. So you're supposed to let it sit there for about 10 minutes. It's safe to remove the chain from the wax using the cable coupler. Hang to dry on the waxing stand. Our vertical camera mount from Neewer, complete with ball head and multiple points of bubble levels. 360 degrees, 360 degrees, 180, and slides. But yeah, anyways, mostly just using it on necessity, and it just happens to be here because my unboxing backdrop thingy, which is just a bamboo cutting board. Hey, it works, and it looks much nicer than nothing, or even just these like kind of rubbery floor mat things. But yeah, so that's what we got, and we'll check back in once it's slightly more ready. See you in a while. Oops. So we appear to our wax cleaned out here. Not cleaned out. Clean. Is there a little twisty turny deal? Cool. Yeah, looks like we're all melted. It takes a good amount of time. All right, these are tight. Right, so we lower, shoot the wax. Our coupler may be too small or too wide. A little bit of force can't work with. So this might be the big benefit of using their actual kit, is that it should fit. Certainly allowed to sit 10 minutes. We're gonna set a timer here. 10 minutes. See you back. All right. So we're still at 125 C. 10 minutes. Another one, lightly agitate. Seems like it was lightly agitated. Ish. There you go. I'm just kind of ballparking that this is around 30 seconds. There we go. All right. Lower the temperature down. I have to consult my notes here. 167. There we go. So now we're lowering the temperature down to 75 degrees Celsius, and we're going to be doing that for about another 10 minutes, then remove, hang, and dry. And that should be all. So, all right, I'll be back in about 10 minutes. All right, so the time has come. We get to gently raise this, try and get all the into the melter. Turn this off. The wax melter seems to be doing a great job, so that's awesome. My little hanger dealie, I think, just needs to be ever so slightly thinner so I can actually, put the chain deeper in. Let me just take you mobile here. All right. But as far as the actual wax application, like, looks like it turned out pretty good. Nice and even. I don't know if it's supposed to be nice and even. Still got some drippy stuff dripping. But yeah, and that looks kind of cool, but also weird. And I think you're just supposed to, I don't know, leave it in there. I don't think you're supposed to pour it back in the bag. Like, nothing here says, once done, pour it back into the baggie. So, we'll see. But, yeah, all right. Yeah, still got a decent amount left. And 5 more of these strip chips. So, worked out quite nicely. And I'm glad I took a light over. But I'll let this dry probably overnight. I'll just kind of leave it be. Did get 2 more boxes here from backcountry, but that's just some carbon grip compound, and then I think this one is tubeless tape, so I can actually get that front tire tubeless again and get rid of that ride now, or yeah, ride now I think it is. Yeah, TPU inner tube. Hey, technically it worked real damn well once I actually got one of them to work. The first one though was a huge bust. So yeah, so scratching things off. The to-do list though. But anyways, I'll try and incorporate this in a better way. Just kind of in with the rest of the chain waxer melter dealer thing. Overall though, I thought it worked spectacularly well. This thing it's great, and it was 20 bucks. So as long as you can figure out how to make your own, is it not hang dealy, cable coupler. As long as you can figure out how to make your own cable coupler and something to dangle the chain off of, yeah, it works great. So cool. Yeah, and still got a digital gauge. The Fahrenheit versus Celsius, yeah, a little weird, but whatever, it worked. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to test out a waxed chain to see how that holds up, and hopefully check back in with many more miles to come. At the very least, in about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, I have a metric century ride with the American Diabetes Association. So we'll see how that holds up. So here's the end result. Not a loose wax. No, it actually turned out extremely well. As long as I can actually get it in frame here. But yeah, it turned out extremely well. Yeah. Seems like it even shifts better too. So cool. Yeah, I'll still be doing some re-indexing just to make sure it is in fact a new chain. So you want to make sure everything shifts right anyways, which I already did to kind of loosen up the freshly waxed chain anyways. But yeah, it looks sharp. Plus, I mean, that gold, it sparkles.